Good morning and welcome to the Habits, Health, and Happiness Show. I am Susie B. and I'm your host. Every month on this show, I choose a theme for the month. And last month, the theme was mental health habits. I wanted to help you to get through the holiday season and toward the end of the year with your mental health intact. Sometimes it feels like that time of year is all about everyone else and it's hustle bustle and it's busy. So I wanted to help you kind of slow down and remember that you are also a priority. This month, we are talking about the habit of having fun, the habit of enjoying life. This is something that I think is underrated in the world and something that is so powerful. And if you learn to make this a habit in your life, not something you do once in a while, but an actual habit that you repeat consistently, you will see a major change in the way you live, the way you feel, and the way you love yourself. It also will improve the relationships around you. A lot of people think, well, if I focus on myself, then that is selfish. But actually, if you are happy, that exudes to the people around you. If you are having fun, other people are going to be drawn toward you, and they are going to want to join in on whatever it is that you're doing because it looks like fun. So let me take the month of January to help you enjoy your life, to help you create habits of having fun that you can consistently do that make a massive difference. These habits are small, little tiny things that you can do, little changes that make a big difference. That's what we're going for here. Today being the beginning of the year, being the start of a new year, a lot of us are in a winter season. A lot of us are in a change season. Even if you're not in the Northern Hemisphere and you're not in a winter season of actual snow and rain and cold, then sometimes the season of change can do the same thing. Often we feel a little bit of weight, a little bit of pressure, a little bit of lack of motivation. Sometimes we feel a little bit down, and often this is referred to as seasonal depression. Seasonal depression is when you feel sad or down or unmotivated during a particular season of the year. This season, this winter season, is not filled with sunshine, usually. It's not filled with the normal fun aspects of getting outside and doing things as a family and with your friends. Often seasonal depression comes because you feel isolated, you feel cold, you feel like outside is not somewhere you want to be because it's gray and it's cold and there's just not a lot of sunlight. And so often seasonal depression comes to us and kind of holds us back from having fun. So today I want to talk about 6 ways to combat seasonal depression. This is a habit of having fun because this will keep you from feeling stuck. If you learn to combat seasonal depression, then if you struggle with this, which I do, and most of the people I know have some form of seasonal depression effect. And as you are learning to deal with this, if you do these 6 things as often as you can, that will immensely impact the way that you work through this season every single year. This isn't something that happens once and then it's gone. This is every year. So if you learn to put these practices into your life, then you'll be able to work with this every single year. And it won't be something that holds you back. It won't be something that weighs you down. It won't be something that stresses you out every single year. But in fact, it will be something that you are entirely in control of by making, again, tiny little changes. Combat seasonal depression tip number 1. This first one is sort of counterintuitive. I want you to go outside. I just talked to you about how it's cold and dark and gray out there. Why would we want to go outside? Because a huge part of seasonal depression, that feeling of weight, that feeling of unmotivated, comes from lack of vitamin D. And even if the sun is not out, we all know that we get vitamin D from the sun, but even if the sun is not out, you can get small amounts, trace amounts of that micronutrient through the clouds, through the gray. It's just in the atmosphere. And so if you go outside, you are able to absorb that vitamin D through your skin, through just being outside. I'm not saying you have to go running outside. I'm not saying you need to be out there for hours a day. I'm just saying spend a few minutes every day outside. Maybe that just means sitting on your patio and drinking a cup of tea or whatever your morning routine might be. Just get outside for a few moments. Wrap up in a blankie. You don't have to be cold while you're out there. But I do think that actually, it's not even just me. The research shows that if you consistently get outside during the wintertime, you will achieve enough vitamin D to trigger that part of your brain that tells you everything is going to be okay. That imbalance in your brain is what makes you feel like everything's not going to be okay. And going outside just for a few minutes a day will help that part of your brain trigger that symbol or that stimulus to you that you are okay. You can get through this season and this day. Often we think about it as a big, huge thing, but let's just start with today. What can I do today that will help me get through today? Going outside just for a few minutes. Go for a walk with your kids. Go walk your dog. Go just outside. Even just walking, if you have to park your car in a parking lot, park a little further back so that you get a few more minutes outside. Even if it's cold, even if it's windy, I promise you this will be worth it. Tip number 2 is what I refer to as you do you. This one simply means every single day, I want you to do something that means something to you, something that makes you happy. This doesn't have to be some big elaborate thing. Maybe you love to go to the spa, but you're not going to go there all day, every day, right? So I want you to find something small that you love to do that makes you happy every single day. I'll give you an example. Listening to music makes me happy. I listen to music several times a day just so I can connect with myself. Sometimes it's when I'm stressed and I just need a little bit of relief. Then I listen to kind of meditative, calming sounds. Sometimes I am just tired and I need motivation. Then I listen to upbeat jams and I get my blood pumping and my body moving with the beat of the music. Find something that means something to you. You do you, meaning it has to mean something to your happiness. I often talk with my clients about chasing someone else's happiness. If you chase someone else's happiness, you'll never get there. But if you chase your own happiness, you'll get there every single time. So figure out what it is that means something even just tiny to you. Maybe you love to write. Start a journaling habit. Don't write anything specific, just write. I love to do a brain dump in the mornings. That was really peaceful for me. So that's another habit that you can do. Other things that you can do to connect with yourself would be exercise. Maybe you love to exercise. Maybe you have a TV show that you really love. Instead of sitting down and binge watching that, maybe just watch a few minutes of it each and every day. Then you have something to look forward to. Understand yourself and then practice that habit of doing what makes you happy. Again, the simpler and the smaller and the easier this is, the better this will be long-term. And the more often you can do it throughout a day, the more signals you'll send to your brain that you are happy, you are living your best life, and you understand who you are and what makes you tick. And then your brain will turn on that filter and you'll be able to see more things around you that make you happy. Once you're looking for those things, they just start to come more frequently. The third tip is get out of bed. Often with depression of any form, but with seasonal depression in particular, sometimes it's hard to just get up. You know it's colder outside of your bed than it is inside your bed. So when you wake up, you turn off your alarm or even hit the snooze and you just lay in bed. Maybe you grab your phone and you scroll for a while, but you know what that does? That tells you first thing in the morning that this is going to be a day where you don't want to do anything. You're setting yourself up to fail by not getting up out of bed. This one is so small, but it feels big at the time. So if you commit to yourself, that first thing, when your alarm goes off, get up. For me, I want to make it particularly small. And so instead of saying, I need to get up and get moving, I just say, sit up. If I can sit up, I know I can do the rest of it. So I just give myself one tiny little step, one little thing that I need to do in the morning. As soon as I wake up, I think sit up. And as soon as I sit up, I'm able to stand up and move to the next room. instead of laying in my bed, even if that's what you need to do first thing in the morning. I often have a lot of social media stuff to take care of in the morning as part of my job. And so that's one of the things I do in the morning, but I don't do it in my bed. I want you to wake up, get out of bed, change your scenery, move to a different room, get your body moving, get your blood pumping just a little bit. You don't need to get up and run first thing in the morning unless you want to, but just that little change of scenery, that little movement of getting out of your bed tells your brain, today is a day I'm going to get up and move. I'm going to do something today. And that change, that difference between today is a day where I'm not going to do anything to today is a day where I'm going to do anything, starts with just sitting up and getting out of bed. So that is tip number 3. Seasonal depression combat tip number 4 is read. Sometimes we don't want to go outside. Sometimes we don't want to do a lot of things, but books are an incredible escape for your mind. Seasonal depression is something that often is very much linked to what's happening in your brain. And if you can give your brain a little bit of rest, give your brain a little bit of change, that will trigger that it's okay feeling that I've been talking about. Those happy hormones, your serotonin and your dopamine, those kinds of things will come when you practice things like this. Reading is a beautiful escape for your mind. Maybe you love to read self-help books because they give you a little bit of motivation to do something that you've wanted to do for a while. Or maybe you just need a break and you don't want to think and you don't want to plan. Fantasy books are an incredible escape. I almost have to plan a week or a weekend or a couple of days before I start a fantasy book, because I get so into them, I kind of get lost and I just shirk all of my other responsibilities and sit and read. So plan your time and know how your brain works, and then go with it. Find something that you want to read and then do it. This is a beautiful way to stay inside where it is warm and to cuddle up in front of the fire with a blanket around you and be able to stay warm and cozy and still feel joy, still feel that happiness, still feel that motivation and that success of doing something that you love to do. If you don't know what books to read, Google search it. There's tons and tons and tons of amazing books out there of every type of genre, every type of anything. If you don't know what to read, ask a friend for a recommendation or ask me for a recommendation. I love to read and I would be happy to give you some recommendations. Just sit down, take a minute and give yourself permission to read. Often we're so busy that we think reading is a waste of time. So you have to give yourself that permission, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. Just sit down, give yourself permission to read. Reading is a beautiful escape for your mind, and it increases your knowledge and your power and what you can do. So there really is no downside of reading other than if you're reading to escape other things like I talked about with my fantasy reading. So don't shirk your responsibilities to read, but give yourself permission to fit that in. That can absolutely be a form of self-care. So that was tip number 4 on how to combat seasonal depression. Do something fun inside by reading. Tip number 5 is breathing hard. This one it seems trivial. It seems like, I don't know that really matters, but let me just tell you the power of oxygen, the power of that heavy breath. So usually in our lung capacity, we use about 50% of our lung capacity in a regular breath, 40 to 50%. So when you breathe hard during exercise or running up and down your stairs or something even simple, just a couple of minutes, if you just do this for a couple of minutes a day, what that does is it clears out that bottom 50% of your lungs, that old oxygen that's been sitting in there, not doing anything. So you've got 50% that comes in and out with your regular daily breath. Then when you exercise and you make yourself breathe hard, that other 50% clears out, and then you get 100% fresh, clean air. Do you feel the power there? By filling your body with absolute fresh, clean, new, what is that going to do for your body, for your mind, for your life? It's absolutely going to clear that brain fog. It's going to help you to see things differently, to see things more clearly. You will feel less pressure, less overwhelm. You will feel more motivation, more self-confidence to be able to do the things you need to do just by breathing. And like I said, this doesn't have to be go to the gym and work your guts out for 2 hours. This can just be a couple of minutes. This can be going up and down your stairs 2 or 3 times in the morning. This can be on your walk when you go walk your dog. Instead of walking at a leisurely, jaunting pace the whole time, for half of your walk, pick up the pace, really go for it. Or maybe you could carry some hand weights with you just to increase the movement of your air, of your muscles, and just to add a little bit more work so that you get more out of it. It doesn't need to take more time. You just need to push yourself a little bit harder. When you learn to push yourself to that high oxygen limit, that's called your VO2 max. When you push yourself to that VO2, you are telling your mind and your body that growth is important, that change is good. You don't want to stay the same. When you keep that old air in your lungs and you tell your lungs and your brain, you say, this is good, we're good here. But by refreshing and emptying that out, you tell your brain, your body, and your life that you are ready for more, that you're not going to stay stuck exactly where you are. You want more. And it only takes 2 or 3 minutes a day. It's absolutely incredible, the power of high oxygen and high oxygen amounts and limits and values because of what it does, not only for your mind, not only for your muscles, but for all of those things together. Another way to do that is with yoga, with meditation. By really inhaling those deep, deep breaths and focusing on your breath, you're able to hit that same area of your lungs. It doesn't quite work as quickly or as broad or as expansive as hard exercise. But if that's what you can do right now, maybe you've got an injury that you're healing or whatever, maybe that is a great option for you. But focusing on your breath, deep breathing, whether that be breathing hard, whether that be breathing deep, whatever you need to do to get some good, clean oxygen in your lungs every single day. Again, these are all habits. These aren't things that I want you to do once and then the problem will be solved. These are things I want you to do on a regular basis so that your brain and your body make that connection that, okay, this is the new normal. This is the benefit we're looking for all the time now. Then your body will start to really maximize what you're doing. If you'll notice within the first 2 weeks of any sort of exercise routine that you do, the first week you're really sore because your body is fighting you. Your body's like, no, this doesn't feel good. And then the second week, things start to normal out because your body has adjusted. Then the third week and the fourth week, things start to get a little bit smoother. Things start to get a little bit easier, a little bit more habitual. That's the same thing. Your body is learning and your mind is making connections. You're actually making growth. You're making change in your brain that tells you this matters. This matters for more than just this week. This matters for more than just this month. And that is where long-term change happens. That's the incredible power of habits. I love habits and I could talk about them all day long, but we are here to talk about the habit of combating seasonal depression. So that was tip number 5, was breathing hard. Tip number 6, our last and final combat seasonal depression tip for today, is introducing a new hobby into your life. If you have a reason to look forward to that season, for me, I live in Idaho and winter means feet and feet of snow. Last week, we got 2 feet of snow in about 48 hours. So it's a lot of snow. It's a lot of cold. And for me, I have to have something to look forward to. I can no longer ride my bike outside. I can no longer run outside because my lungs don't agree with cold weather. I have to run inside. I can no longer go to the lake and go paddleboarding with my kids, do things that I love to do in the summertime. So I need something to look forward to in the wintertime. How do we do that? If you introduce to yourself a winter hobby or a seasonal hobby, that's something you can look forward to that is specific to that season, that is a novelty that you can't do any other time of year, then that will give you, again, that's something to look forward to. Every single year, you'll be like, okay, it's ski season again. That's a good thing. I love to ski. I love to snowboard. I love to do those kinds of things. But sometimes those are hard to get to. I have little kids and it's expensive and it takes a ton of work to get my kids loaded up with all their gear. So sometimes ski season doesn't work out for me. And so last year I got I get hit with seasonal depression every single year pretty hard. And so I have to do things to make sure that I don't get that. And so last year, my mom gave me some cross-country skis. And I've always said that I would never be a cross-country skier because I love downhill ski because I love the speed. Cross-country ski, there's no speed. You're just walking. It looks really boring, right? And so my mom gave me these cross-country skis and I tried it and I loved it. It was so fun. My friends and I did it a bunch of times last year. Actually, I guess it was 3 years ago that I started doing this. And then my mom and I started doing it last year. And so this new hobby for me, I have these cheap old skis that are just garbage equipment, but that doesn't matter. The point is that I get to get outside. I get to do something that is super, super fun, gets my blood moving, gets my body moving, and I really enjoy it. And it's something I can do in my own backyard. I don't have to go to a big resort hours and hours away. I can do it right here. I can do it for 5 minutes. I can do it for 3 hours. It doesn't have to be a big, huge commitment. Maybe you have an ice skating rink in your town. Maybe you should buy a membership and go once a week. Maybe you should make a little place in your yard that you can cross-country ski or even snowshoe. Snowshoeing is a really fun one too if you're in a place where there's lots of snow. There are so many winter sports, hockey, ice skating, all of those kinds of things. There are a lot of winter sports. And even if you don't want to participate in those, maybe you don't want to ski or you don't want to skate or you don't want to play hockey, go watch those events. I love watching hockey games. I don't play hockey, but I love to watch the games. And that's another winter novelty for me. The teams here only play in the wintertime. I know there's teams other places that play year round, but the teams here only play in the winter. And so to watch those hockey games is something that I look forward to in the winter. Again, it's all about finding novelties in the season that will lift your load, that will make you feel a little bit brighter, a little bit lighter, and will give you something to look forward to. So those are your 6 seasonal depression tips to combat seasonal depression. I'll go through them one more time just to remind you. Tip number 1 was to go outside. Get you some vitamin D, get you some fresh air, and just be outside, even just for a few minutes a day. Number 2 is you do you. Find something you can do, simple, easy, right at home that already fits into your day, that means something to you, that brings you a little bit of joy, a little bit of happiness. Again, just a couple minutes a day. Doesn't have to be a big deal. Number 3 is get out of bed. First thing in the morning when that alarm goes up, sit up and move. Switch rooms, change direction, move your body so that you send a message that this isn't a day where I'm just going to stay in bed. This is a day where I'm going to get up and get stuff done. I am worth it. You are waking up and you're telling yourself today is a great day. That is going to help you to be happy, to be successful, to be productive, and to just give yourself a little bit of momentum first thing in the morning. It's absolutely incredible what just sitting up can do. Tip number 4 is reading something fun, reading something you enjoy. This, again, is something you can do inside where it's warm and toasty, and something that you can do that will give your brain a little bit of rest, give your body a little bit of rest, and you can really enjoy yourself. There's so many millions and billions of books out there to choose from, so many different genres and topics and ideas. I mean, it's amazing what's out there. So hit up your local library or get on Amazon and order some books, but just get something that you enjoy reading. If it's not a book that you absolutely love, you're not going to want to do it every day. But if you find a genre that just makes you happy, then just read it a couple of minutes every day. Doesn't have to be you sit down and read the whole book unless you want to. Maybe you have time for that. Go for it. That's great. But if you can find time, just a couple of minutes a day to just sit and read something that makes you happy, that's absolutely a great way to combat seasonal depression. Tip number 5 is breathing hard. Again, this can be through meditation and yoga, or it can be through vigorous exercise. Doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be hours at a time, just a couple of minutes. I work out for about 30 minutes a day, and about 10 of those minutes, I try to hit that really hard breathing. 20 of those minutes, I'm not breathing that hard, but 10 of them, I'm really, really pushing myself to the next level. I absolutely recommend this for anyone at any level, at any age. Do something. Maybe you're thinking, I breathe hard when I just go for a walk. That's great. Your level doesn't need to compare to anyone else's. Your oxygen is different. Your lungs work differently than anybody else's. Don't compare your workout to anyone's. compare it to yours. Are you able to walk just a little bit faster? Are you able to go just a little bit harder? Maybe you can carry something with you to add a little bit of resistance. Maybe you can walk up a hill or something like that, walk up your stairs. Just change it up enough that part of your workout makes you breathe really hard. It doesn't have to be so hard that you want to kill over dead, but just hard enough that it makes you know you're alive and you're working and your body is getting fresh, clean, new air. And tip number 6 is introducing a new hobby that is novel to the season. So hockey, ice skating, skiing, snowboarding, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, whatever it is, find something that you can look forward to about that season in particular. This will absolutely change the way that you feel about the season, and then it will give you something to do, something that will help you enjoy the season instead of just waiting for it to be over. All right, so those are your 6 tips on how to combat seasonal depression. I know that this is a very serious matter and a lot of us suffer with this. And I feel you, I'm right there with you. I've absolutely dealt with this for years and years, and I know how hard it can be. But I also know that tiny little things that you can do make a massive difference. So please take these 6 tips, take which ones work for you and use them. You don't have to do all 6. Just choose a few that you're going to do every single day or as often as you can. Don't put yourself the pressure that you want to be perfect. That's the beauty of habits, is it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be a pattern. Your days that you do these things are more often and more frequent than the days that you don't. It doesn't have to be every single day. You just want it to be frequent. So find things that mean something to you, that bring you a little bit of joy and a little bit of gladness, and create for yourself this month of January the habit of having fun. That's my message for you today. And before we close today, I also want to talk to you about if you are really loving the idea of wanting more habits in your life, wanting to take control with habits and feeling that automatic brain power of moving forward without time, effort, or energy, I absolutely would love to invite you to join the Habits, Health, and Happiness coaching program. This is a 4-month program that is directly with me, and the groups are kept very, very small. I only have them open for, enrollment is only open for 1 week each month. Usually it's the last week of the month, but because this is a new year, I'm doing an extra week. So this week of January, if you would like to enroll in the Habits, Health, and Happiness program, this will be open until next Sunday. So you can go to livelifeconscious.com/store/course and check this out. This is, you're going to do 2 different rounds of habit formation. The first round is for your physical health, where you'll master how to form habits and you'll apply it to your physical health. Then you'll be able to make healthy decisions daily or healthy choices every single day without actually having to make a decision or a choice. These will just be built into your life. It's absolutely incredible the power that habits have. So once you have built these habits into your life, into your health, then we go through a workshop and we apply it, the whole system of forming habits, to a second area of your life. We go through a workshop to figure out what your next top priority is. Maybe it's your business, maybe it's your family, maybe it's your mental health. Whatever it is, we then repeat the process of forming habits on a second area of your life. That's why the program is 4 months long, because I want you to succeed. If you do something for 15 days or 21 days, it's going to help you short term, but I want to help you for life. These habits, this system has absolutely been proven over the past decade to be successful. And if you want to start this year with habits that will help you and serve you long after this coaching program is over, this is a program for you. If you're ready to take control of your health and your next top priority with your habits, check out Habits, Health, and Happiness right now and enroll today at livelifeconscious.com/store/course. I'll see you in there. Thanks for joining us today on Habits, Health, and Happiness. This has been the first week of January, which is our month of the habit of having fun. I hope you learned something today about combating seasonal depression and that those 6 tips can help you to have fun and enjoy this season. Take control of your life with simple daily habits, little tiny changes that make all the difference. I'm Susie B. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next week.